My name is Rodrigo Cala. I I am one of the owners of Cala Farm. We have a 46 acres farm, but most of the farm is forest. We have 17 or 16 acres on tillable land, and our main crops are broccoli, cauliflowers, heirloom tomatoes, garlic, and peppers. We have three main markets, and it's a CSA, wholesale, and farm to school program. I arrived to this country in 2004. I was working on a horseshoes factory for 10 years. But at the same time, I started growing some products for us, just
your
for
family.
yes, for Mexican dishes. So we try to grow a specific products like squash blossoms, special corn, and some herbs like verdolagas, and tatuma is a round squash. What I know from Mexico. So I we start growing that. Then we get the farm in 2008 when we finish our organic production training on Minnesota Food Association.
Were you on Big River Farms?
Yeah, I was on Big River Farm for 3 years. I I understand and I learned the process for organic production. So then, on 2008, I get my farm. Um, I start this thing like a hobby, and then a few years later, I understand it's gonna be a business. So we start there.
That's great. What was the farm like when you purchased it? Was it a vegetable farm?
No, it was a corn and soybean farm.
So it was a lot of work.
Yep.
Started.
So when we start on the process for changing the soil on the farm, we start growing produce on this just on this part when we get the farm. And at the first, we thinking this farm is so big for us, but 10 years later, we find out this is really small.
It's really small.
Okay, when we get this farm, the soil was so good, and easily we understand for an organic farm, the most important part of the farm is the soil. And people they thinking soil is nothing, but I think for my own experience, the quality of the soil is everything. So what we do different process for keep the health of the soil. So what we do is we apply manure. Sometimes we apply turkey manure. Sometimes we apply sheep manure. But what we trying to do is to put something every year to the soil. Agricultural work, people take a lot from the soil, but if you don't put something every year, you're gonna lose the quality of your soil. So we do different process. Like sometimes when we apply the turkey manure, we plow the soil to cover the turkey manure, and then we put a cover crop on the top. And that simple thing, simple process, helping us a lot every year.
Okay.
When I try to find a different ways to put more manure and green manure in the soil, I find out about cover crops. When I start hear about cover crops, I was like, but then I try. Another thing on my philosophy for be a farmer. Every year I try to find new ways to mechanize, new ways to do more efficient on my farm. So when I start seeing how cover crops works, not just for me, it works for the soil and works for the farm. I mean, I get attached to that. So the first cover crop I tried was winter rye, and then I tried buckwheat, then Sudan grass, and every year I try to find a new ones for doing something with the soil.
So you tried the winter rye over the winter, and when did
Yep.
you use the buckwheat? Buckwheat's
On
a very
summertime.
fast, as summertime.
Summertime. So if you need something, because people they thinking for a cover crop it needs to be like really long period, but I think it's another cover crops in short period you can apply. We're thinking about putting cover crop on, I think on July. No, yeah, on July, because in the spring we put salad mix and arugula and spinach, like a fast grow crop, and then we finish that crop in the beginning, and then we put a fast cover crop for 2 months, and then we planting a cover crop on the second week of August, and then 1 year was okay because the weather was really good, but the next year we don't have enough heat or enough warm weather.
For the
So
fall crop.
for the fall crop,
So you planted a cash crop in the spring, a cover crop during a very short period of time, and
yeah.
then a cash
So
crop again.
one of the main things is to break the cycle of disease and pests, uh, and put some green manure on the soil. So was fast and was a little crazy, but what worked, like I think 50% of the project worked really well for us, and we increased the quality and health of the soil. So then when you see how this thing works, then you can put your brain to work to see, okay, I can use this kind of cover crops on this project, on this process. So then, because you are the person, you know your farm, you are the person, you know your systems right here, so you can think like, okay, I can use this specific cover crop on this ground, and I can use that cover crop on other ground, because you need to know your needs.
Are you continuing to use any of those cover crops
Yes.
in the summer?
Yes.
Yes.
um, but the main thing, we use cover crops every year on the farm. Most of the time we use on winter time, but if we have the opportunity to do on summertime, we do.
So after that experience, which cover crops are you using in the summer now?
Sudan grass, um, Heidi Veg, and buckwheat.
When do you plant them?
Um, on the spring, we on the middle of the spring.
So you don't have time for a cash crop before.
No,
So you first plant the cover crop.
the problem right now is because we don't sign contracts for early crops like spinach, salad mix. In many of these decisions depends on what kind of contracts we sign. If somebody wants to buy, it's the first step we take. If somebody want to buy our crop, okay, we grow. If nobody has any interest, we didn't.
Yep.
I mean, we use a disc, a regular disc. Um, we pass every week one time, so we can be really easy with the soil. And I think uh, for me is the cheapest way to finish the cover crops.
How much was this disc, if you don't mind?
$1,000,
$1,000.
yeah, plus the tractor. Another $10,000.
Yeah.
But what I mean is, like, I mean, we try to do the easiest way, the cheapest way in here on the farm. So, yeah, we do that.
Do you mow it before you use the disc?
No,
You just hit it with the disc and
yeah, hit it with the disc. So then, in the first pass, we I don't know, how do you say, like, we acostamos
you flatten it out.
flatten it out, the cover crop.
Yeah.
And are there differences in how you terminate, for example, like sorghum Sudan grass and buckwheat, when you have a lot of biomass versus less biomass?
I mean, we try to do as many times as we can over a month. So sometimes we try to do twice a week instead to once a week. So then we check in home. I mean, if we can incorporate to the soil, then we use a plow to cover, and then when we do that, we cover and then we disking again on the top, and then we planting.
How long do you need to wait in between when you terminate the cover crop and when you plant your cash crop?
At least a month. So we need to see the ground is smooth. Yep.
Do you notice a difference in the soil when you plant cover crops?
Yes.
What do you see?
You can see. I mean, the texture of the soil is can be different. You can touch it. You can see it's more smooth. It's more healthy. Even the smell of the soil is different. Yep.
And do you ever have the sheep come and graze right after you terminate it? Do you always do that?
No.
Okay.
This year we start to doing that. So we have a plot where we put a cover crop, a Sudan grass cover crop, and then we put a sheep. So now we can see the difference between one soil to another soil. Okay, it's another system, another tool what we want to use on the farm, and what purpose we use the sheep is for clear some parts of the farm and deal with quaggrass. We build this corral every 2 or 3 weeks. It's a lot of work. We try to find another system to do this. For us, take like 4 hours of work. 2 people and one tractor to pull everything up from this part to move to another. It takes for us like at least 4 hours every 2 or 3 weeks, and but we see the benefit, like 3 or 4 benefits from this system. We deal with the weeds. We clear the space. We put manure on this plot, and at the end of the season, we sell some of the sheep.
What did this look like before? Did it have trees that you cut, or
No, looks like the same than that field. The next, it's weedy and grassy. It's like a jungle.
yeah, pretty clear now.
Yeah, can see
Yeah.
on the part where we don't put the sheep are very high, but this is come back. So you can see in some parts right here is regrow again and is more healthy.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you brought the sheep in when it was
Yes.
tall like that, and then the sheep grazed it down to nothing,
Yeah.
but it's resprouted.
And then the sheep and the Sudan grass both together deal with the weeds. So then if we pass one more time the sheep right here, I think like 70% of the weeds are gone. And you can see the quality of the soil. You can see all this. Yep. So when we disc in this soil is gonna be so healthy.